Welcome today to this Visionary Business Leaders video series. My name's Les Price. I'm a co-founder of Visionary Business Leaders, a community that's making an amazing difference around the world in terms of helping empower visionary business owners. And joining me today is John Anderson, who's also a co-founder and my fellow business partner in Visionary Business Leaders. And John, today we're going to just be sharing with you all just some insights around what we call the rapid flow effect. Now, it's something that you've had a lot of experience in. So maybe, John, just to start with, if you could just share with us some of your story and how you got into all of this.
Thanks, Les. Alright, and thanks for being here listening with me. I wish we could be together in person, but video is probably the best way to communicate at the moment. So, it all started when I was young. I really got into a negative space in my life. I was, one of those kids you'll see in the Adidas jackets and, sort of gangster community. I was involved with graffiti art and crime and, a lot of violence and stuff like that. And I was really actually destroying my brain and my body with drugs, and obviously it was a very harmful time for myself and also for my family. And really what helped me is when my mother dragged me out of that environment and she took me over to Malaysia, and I came across a book in a Malaysian bookstore completely by chance, inverted commas. I'm clear that it was somehow placed into my path, and I was reading this book and it had these affirmations in it, and we went to this beautiful tropical beach and I was reading this book, and there was the beautiful warm tropical winds and the beautiful water lapping on the shore, and I was reading this book and they were like seeds for a new future in my mind, in my heart, and I saw that something else was possible, a new world was possible. And with that vision, I actually made a decision then never to go back to that old lifestyle. And I never did go back to that lifestyle. In fact, I went on to started going back to school more, and I ended up getting my VCE, and actually I got into law in the end. I got a scholarship to a prestigious overseas university, St Andrews University, and things have really gone well for me since. I'm married to a beautiful wife and I run a great business, and things have really done very well for me, and I can really trace it all back to that one book, that one seed moment. And ever since then I've been fascinated by the power of intention. And I read a book recently called The Intention Experiment by Lynn McTaggart, and it's just a fascinating book. You've got to go read it. And what I discovered in that book is, how some people are like, oh yeah, it's all woo-woo, The Secret, it's all woo-woo, it's all, unscientific. Well, actually, nothing could be further from the truth. In fact, there are hundreds of documented, replicatable studies proving that the power of our mind, the power of the spirit can affect reality. And in fact, what I'll do is when you sign up for the next video, I'll send you a report detailing some of these studies. So I found that out, and I was just absolutely fascinated by that, because what I realized is that this stuff I've always believed in my heart and that has worked out so true in my own life is actually now being verified by in the laboratory. And not only that, it's actually been, I'm a businessman, I love empowering business owners, my clients, to get the most out of their life. And what I found is that I could actually start using this process of the power of intention with my clients to great success. In fact, recently a very dear client of mine was doing a launch for a real estate mentoring program. And look, the circumstances for it in some ways weren't great. Australia is sort of going into this economic downturn, and some people were like, oh, they were advising against it. Is the list big enough? Is this? And, there was a lot of reasons not to. But when I connected to the source within inside me, my own spirit, I just felt this energy flooding in of yes, I can do this. And I trusted in that. And then we did the launch, and the client amassed over $100,000 worth of orders. So it was a great success, and that was a real, not that I needed, but just another confirmation that the power within us is greater than any other power in the universe.
So that's quite an amazing story. I mean, it's an amazing journey you've been on from the start, and I mean, it just shows that whole power of intention in your life. I mean, John, one of the things that you're passionate about, and that we encompass in Visionary Business Leaders as well, is about bringing this power of intention, bringing this rapid flow effect into business. So maybe you can share, some of the other aspects of how it's impacted and made a difference in not only your life and your business, but maybe those of your clients as well.
Look, absolutely. I mean, one of the things that I always do is, rather than trying to make decisions from my mind, which will go into machinations, I'll always be like, okay, let's connect to our heart. How can we most serve the client here? Because oftentimes business owners can go into scarcity, like how can I actually create enough money? But when we go into our heart and look for how we can serve the most, paradoxically, that's when the most wealth comes in. So that's one of the biggest aspects. And for myself, and I'll be sharing about this more in the next video, but just every morning before I even have breakfast, I will go into the park, I'll breathe in and out, I'll start getting connected to the environment, I'll start getting connected to the beautiful bushland in which I walk, I'll see the beautiful birds and the trees, and I'll just start connecting with my spiritual source and having that as the foundation for my day, having that knowing of anything being possible as the foundation for my day and the foundation for my life. And I find that when I do this and spend that time creating great results for my clients in that time, things just happen almost magically. There's a new spiritual source acting as the wind beneath my wings, almost gliding me over the storms of life, which is amazing. So
it is amazing. And I know, John, you're going to be sharing some more in the next series of little videos in terms of how people can implement this in their lives.
Absolutely.
How they can really connect with this material, especially in a business sense. But just for now, I know we want this to be an active program with you. We don't want you to just be sitting there just listening to us, but we want you to take this and try it out in your own life. Especially over the next series of videos, we're going to be sharing some real keys and tips on how to do this. So, John, what's one thing that people can take now that can use this power of intention, this rapid flow effect, and start to put that in place in their business? What's something they can do now?
Well, a lot of the time people live their life and it's like they're scrambling up a ladder and then they find it's the wrong ladder. They were scrambling up the ladder to get the most cars or get the most houses or whatever the ladder was, and there's nothing wrong with accumulating investment properties. I'm more talking about, this sort of live on credit to look rich rather than being wealthy. And they'll go up that ladder and they'll burn out and they'll sort of get very stressed out by that, trying to look rich, rather than connecting to their heart and getting present to what really fulfills them. So if there was one thing that you could do now, it's actually going to your heart and going, look, what is going to fulfill me in this life of mine? Or look, if there's a problem challenging you, what does my heart say about this problem? Breathe in and out, get centered, and connect to that place in your heart where all the answers are, where truth is, and you'll find that life starts to flow a lot easier.
I think in this Western world we've been so conditioned to using our heads and our logical minds trying to work things out that we very rarely often get into this space of the heart. And the heart is the place where everything happens. It's like the most important part of the body, especially intuitively, to know that you're on track, to start sowing that power of intention, because the energy that you'll infuse in is so amazing from that aspect. Absolutely. So it's an amazing insight. So I'd encourage you to do as John said, take some time out over this next few days, sit down, create that space, go into your heart and really ask for what that vision is and find that peace, that serenity, which is that connection with your Creator. Because that's where the power of intention and rapid flow commences from.
Absolutely.
So John, it's been great having you here. I know that we're going to be sharing some other insights. In fact, a 7-step program and plan that you can implement in your life to get this moving. But to do that, you do need to sign up, put your email in, and make sure that we can connect with you so we can actually take you on this journey and share some of these insights so you can see the results in your business. My name's Les Price and I've had John Anderson joining me. It's been a pleasure being with you today, and we'd just like to thank you for tuning in.